Welcome to lesson two on our John study. We're going to continue from where we left off last time, and that would be in John chapter 1, verses 6 through 8. Let's jump right in there. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. This man came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all through him might believe. He was not the light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. So we see here that John the Baptist bore witness of the light, that the work of John the Baptist was deliberately focused on bringing people to faith in Jesus the Messiah. That was what John's assignment was from God. Verses 9 through 11 go on to say, there was the true light which gives light to every man coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made through him. This is speaking, of course, of Jesus. And the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own did not receive him. So Jesus is called the true light here. And John did not mean that Jesus, the Word, uh, gives the light to everyone. In the ultimate sense, uh, Jesus gives us all light. He gives us all the ability to know who he is. But he doesn't give everyone saving light, is the idea here. Uh, he meant that the reason why anyone is born into the world with any love or care or goodness at all is because of Jesus, the Word, the true light, and the light he gives to the world. So it said that the world did not know him, which is strange because God came to the same world that he had created. And Jesus was the one who did the act of creation. Uh, he came to the creatures that he had made in his image, and yet the world did not know him. They didn't recognize him as the creator. And he came to his own, and they didn't receive him. This has the idea of the fact that he came to his people, the Jews. He was born a Jew, and they didn't accept him by and large. Uh, you may think that Jesus himself evangelizing, that there were huge numbers of people coming to him while he was on earth, but that is not the case, although it seems like it as you read through Scripture. If you look at it in a little more detail, you realize that that's not the case. Uh, Verses 12 and 13, but as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become the children of God, to those who believe in his name, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of flesh, nor the will of man, but of God. Uh, though some rejected his revelation, others received him and therefore became children of God. John reminds us of the nature of the new birth here. Those who receive him are born of God. And being born of God makes you spiritually alive and puts you into God's family. We receive him, we receive Jesus by faith through grace, as it says in Ephesians, that not of ourselves, it's a gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. And we receive him by believing that he is God, that he came to earth, died on the cross as a sinless human being and as God, which qualified him to pay for the sins of the world. No normal human being could pay for the sins of anyone else, not even themselves. Only Jesus could do that. He was uniquely qualified to do that. That is what light is. That's what life is. That's what salvation is. So I digress. Back in verse 14, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. Christ entered into a new dimension of existence through the gateway of human birth and took up his residence among men, but he was still God, full of grace and truth. Our 5 or 6 minutes are up. I want to make these short and sweet, so I'll stop it here and until we do lesson 3.